Hello? Look at me right on time. That never happens. Probably everybody be here on 7:15 when I'm normally here. I'm going to pull it up on my phone so I can see your comments, because I can't see them on this thing still because I keep forgetting to ask Lee. You know, that's the truth. And I might be able to see without my glasses. My sugar's getting better. So I might be able to see without my glasses today, but we will find out. I see Tuya coming in here. Everybody say hi, so I know you're here and who you are. My cough is getting a little better. It's just a little, annoying. Every now and then I'll get like a real deep cough, but it's getting a lot better. Hi, Denise. So there's that. Hi, Michelle. Michelle, I thought about you the other day. Something dumb happened that I thought you're gonna make a liar out of me, make me cough because I was bringing it up from my gut. I forget what it was, but it was funny, and I'll remember it and text it to you. But it was something. I forget, but whatever it was funny. Hi, Kiki. Hi, Miss Grace and Grande. Hi, Alice. Yeah, so Michelle, when I think of it, I'll let you know, because it was kind of, I think it had something to do with a dream you had. And I can't remember exactly what was it, but something triggered a chuckle in me, and it was your fault in some way, shape, or form. I'm so glad that you caught me live, Mary. I don't know what you're gonna get. That's, who knows, day to day. I've been so busy, guys, because I have a new grandbaby, a new grandson. My oldest daughter, she'll be 31 in May. She'll be 31 next month. She had her first baby, which makes our 9th grandchild. And she had him, I guess he'll be 2 weeks old Thursday. So last time I talked to you guys, I believe he was just brand new, and I had just got back from the hospital that night. So same thing today. I had went up to the hospital to see my grandson. Hadn't seen him in a couple days because we traveled a little bit. We went up to Michigan to watch one of our favorite bands and to hook up with some really good friends of ours. And so we did that, and then I didn't get to see him. And yesterday we had our Easter sort of family dinner type of celebration, and I didn't get to see him until today. But I saw him today, and he doesn't have any more little IVs, or he doesn't have any more little feeding tubes. He's just opening his eyes and taking a bottle, and he's doing so good, and he's gaining weight. He was 6 pounds 1 ounce when he was born, and then of course he lost a little. And then he got jaundice, and so he'll probably be home by the end of the week, and that'll be awesome to have the new baby home where we don't have to go back and forth to the hospital and leaving him. Leaving him's the worst. It is horrible. It just stinks leaving his little butt, and I just want to have him home. So hi Sharon, hi Kiki, hi Alice. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy, and just sort of out of routine a little bit. And in the midst of it, I got another broken nail, so I'll get it fixed tomorrow. I can't keep them on. I don't know why I try. But other than that, we took a little trip this weekend and had a good time. Just kind of got away for a little bit, and we just kind of need sometimes to get away from home and go out. We went to the beach. I love going to any beach. I don't care where it's at. I'll go to a beach. I don't know about, yeah, I guess a beach is a beach. I don't care if it's a lake or an ocean. Um, man, nails get destroyed in my world too. And I keep trying, but you know what? This hand's good. Maybe. Yeah, this hand's good still. Remember though, last week when I was still, I'm fine now. Look, it's all good. I don't know what happened. I just kind of stubbed it, I think. I don't know. But I've been thinking a lot lately about, hi Jay. I kind of like the Monday Night Lives too. I think they're kind of fun. The other day I was astral traveling in the morning, saw myself walking outside the room I was at. Then I went somewhere else and lost recall of what happened. Woke up to my twin telling me, huh, that's interesting. He said that, that he visited him and that he felt became him and he became me. I'm just blown away. Yeah, Alice, that happens a lot. Like, I think I did tell you guys before how I did some astral traveling when I was in jail. And, like, I would go home. But it was interesting when I went home, I would walk through the condo we had at the time and see things real time. Like Lee was sleeping in bed, my son was asleep in bed, and laundry was everywhere, and the smell of smoke. And that back then Lee smoked. He no longer does, but and I would get on the phone with him the next morning and say, first of all, the house smells like smoke, and second of all, why is there laundry everywhere? And he was like, ugh, and just blown away that I actually had come there. And it was interesting. Those astral travels are so freaking unexplainable. And I was getting ready to say something that I've been thinking a lot lately about how the connection just seems to, when things are going on in our personal lives and our family life, when things are happening, and I come home at night and like I don't leave the connection. The connection goes with me, and it's there. And when I come home, it's just like I'm able to like hand his part back over sometimes when it all gets heavy. And it's like when I come home physically, I'm rested and at peace and not as heavy as I am if I'm out in the outside world, because I'm taking his energy with me, and it's a lot. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. I love the ocean, but I hate the sand. You know what, Jay's interesting little tidbit of information. There's a bunch of sand in our truck, in the baseboard. Like there's like a little rubber mat, and Lee was wanting to suck it up with a vacuum cleaner, and I told him to leave the sand for a couple days. I like the sand in my truck. I live in Ohio. There's no sand here. There's rocky sand. I mean, I just like it. But I probably wouldn't like it all the time. For sure. Randomly, we were watching same movie, but in different locations. I told him we were watching a movie together. This wasn't astral. This was via text. Just yesterday, actually. That's cool. Me and Lee's done that before, too. We did that before, too, when we were just dating. When I was going through my separation with Ron. And, we would watch a movie together and text and talk about it. That's kind of cool. I really like that. Hey, Sherry, hi, John. I'm dealing with an issue with my family and parents. They're narcissists and completely detached from their feelings. I don't know how to communicate to them. They gaslight me. How to deal? Yeah, we talked a little bit about narcissism last week. And I don't know if you were here. But you say that they're narcissists and completely detached from their feelings. Kind of, I guess normally with a narcissist, it's all about their feelings. Um, but um, I don't know how to communicate to them. They just gaslight me, how to deal. You know, I've got some very toxic family members and very close family members, not just like fifth or sixth cousins. I mean, pretty close. Um, and, you know, a lot of times the one that has to change is you. And I'm not saying it's because you are the one that's toxic or doing dirt. I'm just saying I know with my and toxic family members. I want to use the word narcissistic, but I feel like we throw it around too much. But with my toxic family members, I literally have had to detach from them, and in order to keep my own sanity and to not carry on those traits as well. And I know that these are your parents, and I have I have a mom, and she's completely detached from her feelings, and especially the icky ones. So when we want to talk about icky things, um, it's the same thing that happens to me where she just gaslights me, and there has to be a change. There's a saying, be the change you want to see in the world, right? And most of the time it's be the change. And you've got to be a part of that, um, changing the way that you see that, changing the way that you feel about that, changing the energy that you come into when you come into that, with especially with your parents, because they're older and they're less likely really to change their ways, especially if they're completely detached from their feelings. The change has to be you, John, unfortunately, where you have to change the way you approach. You have to change the way you feel about their toxic traits, and take less to heart. And if you feel them, you can and feel their feelings instead of trying to understand or interpret what their mouths are saying, because what their brains are telling them to say. Um, Acceptance is big here, accepting that they are the way that they are. And when you bring up those icky topics, that they just want to gaslight, and so accept the fact that you may not ever get the answers that you need or that you want. Accept the fact that they are who they are, and love them unconditionally and kindly. And a lot of times that'll trigger a change, if that makes sense. It'll trigger a change in them if you be the change. I hope that helped. I don't know. Um, I'm gonna try to see what's happening here. Here we go. I do my root camps with Lee on Mondays. Then love hanging 7 p.m. live with you, Sherry. Congrats on the little one. Oh, thank you. You do your root camps with Lee on Mondays, and then go right into this. That's a lot of Lee and Sherry. It's a lot of us. Congrats to you for doing all that. Um, I haven't connected with my twin in dream state for ages. I wonder if the boundaries I set in 3D are cutting him off in the astral too. I don't know how 3D boundaries can cut off um, your 5D experiences. I've never experienced that, and I don't even know. I don't even know if that's possible. This right here, unfortunately, this is what's cutting him off in the astral too. It's this. So um, when you're when you're, that inner dialogue we have, that inner thinking, like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, or do I want pizza or hamburgers, or do I want chickpeas or regular peas, or do I want to sleep on my stomach or on my side? Those types of human thoughts, right? The human thoughts are what can hinder that. And the only way to go into that, um, to do the cutting off in the 5D, is letting your brain get involved. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, I don't want to completely isolate myself from them, but I literally, every time I try to talk to them, it's like talking to a brick wall. I get it, John. I completely get it. I have a mother that does the exact same thing, and I've learned to communicate with her differently. Um, I've learned to, even, through a recent family experience we went through a few months ago, when, call me up, or I would call her, some things I just have to say, Mom, some things are just none of my business, and I just don't need to know all those little details about everything that's going on, or with who. And sometimes that triggers a negative response too. But a lot of times, I will avoid the icky um, topics. Hi, Gemma. Gemma just came in the room. Um, I'll avoid those icky topics to keep from getting a negative response from her, because I know it's going to be negative and we're never going to get anywhere with it. I accept that. And, it's hard, because, they may have the answers, and they may have the what you need to hear. And she does. She's got the answers in her, and that I need. But I've had to learn to be the change, and not approach her in those ways, or with those subjects. Just try to enjoy the time that you have with them. And sometimes you can feel that space where you can go in and be like, hey, can I ask you a couple questions, so I kind of know the answers? And if you find that that's triggering, try to, approach it another way. Or you might just have to accept that you may never get the answers that you need. I mean, there's plenty of things you can talk to your parents about. The sun's rise, the sunset, the plants, the birds, and so much, so much. Just enjoying them, and having, or living in the moment with them, instead of trying to go back where they don't want to go because of some trauma. Um, Coming in 5 minutes after soaking clothes. Ashwini. Oh my God, I was just watching this channel called Daily Narc. He talks about dealing with narcissistic people. Um, Hi, California. Hi, Michelle. It's called Narc Daily. Got it. Hi, Sherry. How are you? When Lee's mom was sick and when she passed, how did you manage the energy while trying to be there for Lee? Wow. Let me tell you. She was in the hospital for a couple of days. He called me, and I knew something was up. I could feel it, like, in the energy around us. Um, it was it was it was a feeling in my chest, a sinking feeling in my chest. Not like anxiety, not like, but just, I knew something was happening. And he called and said, she's here, and we're talking to her, and she can hear us. And he had hope, I guess I should say, in his voice. And I felt that hope energy, but my spirit was telling me that it was over, and that she was going. But I would never have told him that, ever, ever, ever. And I can remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when she actually passed. And you know, I didn't pick up the phone, and I didn't call him, and I didn't do anything but wait. And I waited, and I answered the phone when he called, and he said, only thing he said was, she's gone. And I knew already. And I there's no words to describe the pain that I felt for him, with him, his pain. And, it was a lot. I have to go in and ask Spirit, hey, um, can I get a break? I call my spirit guides a lot. I call my angels in a lot. I call on them, and I use them. And if you don't use yours, you probably should, because that's why they're there. They're there to help you. I happen to use my voice and call on them, and ask for help. And I say, hey, can we quiet down for a little bit while I go through this? And Spirit's always willing to calm themselves down until I can get through something. I didn't use my mouth to say things, because I felt it took away from what we were doing telepathically. And I wanted him to feel me there with him. And on the day of her service, I had a double root canal. And I wasn't planning on going, because technically we weren't together. We weren't a thing. I was going through a divorce. He was still married and had a girlfriend that he was living with at the time. And I think him and her had already separated. I'm not sure, but I believe she was at the service, and so was his wife. But I did not tell him I was coming, and I did go to her service even after 2 root canals, and I sat in the very back row, and it was super quiet. He did see me, and I stayed for the whole service. And I know that me being there when he was talking about her, that he was looking at me, and I think it helped calm him. But as soon as the service was over, I was out the back door. I was out and in my car and gone before he could even come up and say anything to me. I also didn't want to take away from that experience that, his wife was there, even though they weren't together. And I'm not sure if the girlfriend was there or not. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Yeah, I really don't. For some reason, I don't think she was there. But, with, him and her sharing a child, and I knew that, she was a big part of her life. You know, I wanted to be there, but I didn't want to take away from that experience for anybody to be like, who was that woman with Lee? Who was that woman with Lee? And I just didn't feel like it was the right time, and I wanted to go and pay my respects. But I handled it, all the emotion I felt and I took from him. I just used it to calm him in the 5D. I just used it to calm him. Let's see. My bro used to, you're welcome, John. I hope it helped. I don't know. I always get off here on Mondays and be like, I don't think I helped at all. My bro used to always argue with me no matter what. So I started listening what he was really saying and made myself answer with humor. Things got better while I changed how, yeah, it does. I've noticed that when I'm dealing with my family, if I deal with it not the way they expect me to, right? That helps me. It helps me a lot, and I have to do it a lot. Did you have children with Lee? Hey, Sherry, I'm curious. Did you have children with Lee? We know no, we never had children. But yes, I was pregnant with Lee's children. I know definite 2 times, and pretty sure of a third and a fourth, but not 100% sure, if that makes sense. But the last one, we actually named her, or we had a name for her, and then I ultimately lost the pregnancy. So we don't have any children walking the earth together. No, we have his son and my son are super close, but my son was 2 when Lee came into their life, in his life, so it's kind of big, and he's a big part of his life for sure. Oh man. Sherry, how must I deal with feelings as from the fallback person, or my other perspective when it comes to feel safe insight? Fallback person. Denise, let's rename that. Well, maybe I shouldn't right now. Maybe I should go a little further, because I don't want to get a little bit out of line here. But when you say fallback, does that mean there's somebody else in the picture? Like, is there another female or another male, whatever? Or is there another person in the picture that he's with? That's gonna trigger another response. So answer me that real quick. Hi, RO. Oh, thank you. I did get a little dye job yesterday, so we refreshed the color a little bit. Thank you. I love the blue. I don't know why. I was going to go try to take it out, but I can't now because I'm addicted to the blue. I love it. I don't know why. Hello, Miss Sherry. Hello. 1 minute, I'm in unconditional love and peace. My heart is open and want to connect with my twin. Then I do. I mean all I say. And there's a switch. I close off. Why? Fear. Fear. I do it still. Did a lot. We'll go in open-hearted, open-minded, lovingly kind. We'll go in and everything will be wonderful. And fear comes right up in here and says, do you deserve this? Is this for you? This is too good to be true. It's fairy tale. Oh, so much. And then the big one, the one that we'll never forget is, the great big one is, when this one crumbles, when this one is over, that hurt is going to be the worst hurt you will ever feel in your life. So what we do with that mind noise is we create all this fear around it, and then we start closing off. That's why. Hi, Steph. If Lee was hurting because you were unable to meet some of his needs back when you were waiting for a liver, how would you have handled it if you said he felt like you just weren't trying hard enough? It's interesting because, like, I have to give you 2 answers. And the first answer is, there is this in me now that is a confirmation that that's not even a possibility. Like, he would never, number one, feel that way. And number 2, even say anything. There's that knowing in me. Does that make sense? There's a knowing in me that knows beyond the shadow of a doubt that that's out of the realm of possibility. Now, Um, Now, this. Um, this will take me all the way to places unknown, to places that I would never want to go. And when those scenarios played through my mind and I entertained the thoughts, I would feel a lot of fear and a lot of hurt. Then I realized that it wasn't real. Um, um, I feel like I would. I feel like I would understand, if that makes sense. Because I was super sick, but I can't even make that comment because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to make that comment. So there's just a knowing that wasn't even, it wasn't even a thought. It wasn't a real scenario. So if you're having a real scenario like that, I'd like to do a 30-minute with you. I'd like to find out what's going on. It's important. I'm waiting on spinal cord surgery, and my twin says I'm not waiting. Ah, you did answer. Okay. Let's see. Wait. You're not visiting him enough, but I'm just too tired and in pain. Allison, I have to ask you if you're 1,000% that he's your twin. The only reason I'm asking that in such a way is because with this connection, I don't know how he could feel that way. I don't know how he could. I'm questioning that, but I'm not questioning your connection. I'm just questioning how, because if he knows you, if he's connected to you like that, he feels your pain. He knows what the deal is. He feels that, so he would know automatically. I've been dreaming twin is sending me text messages. I feel him trying to tell me something, and yet I'm blocked him. He hasn't messaged me in over a month. Let's see. And yet I'm blocked, and he hasn't messaged me in over a month. Do you know what it is that he's trying to tell you? I mean, you said he's trying to tell you something, and yet I'm blocked, and he hasn't messaged me in over a month. Oh, you've been dreaming. I get it. You've been dreaming twin to send me text message, and I feel. I don't know. I mean, are you together? Have you talked, or are you in separation? I probably need a little bit of a backstory. Yeah. Denise says, there was another person in the picture. We were not together while I stepped back to allow the lessons. He had recently ended that relationship and since been in communication. We were not together. There was another person in the picture. We were not together while I stepped back. So, Denise, I'm going to go back to like my original, like what I said. Let's kind of, when you said fallback person, right? And when somebody says that to me, I automatically think side chick. And that's because, if they're in a relationship with someone else and they're trying to contact you, right? And you're not the main one, then there's a problem there. If you feel that that's still issue, then I would suggest no communication with him at all until he's not with anybody else out. Yeah. So he recently ended that relationship. I just saw that, and since been in communication. So as long as he's no longer in another relationship, I would say, put your whole heart and soul into it. But if you find that he's falling back on that, and then you feel like the fallback, right? You feel like maybe he's using you for like, the rebound type of person. You can't, these are things that we know what goes on in here. It's just this tries to switch it around and turn it around and make it weird, right? This creates so much miscommunication, and we tend to follow this instead of listening and feeling what's going on in here. So I would encourage you to go within, feel that what he's and tap into what he's feeling, and you'll have your answer if he's doing any of those things. I gotta put my glasses on, y'all. I'm feeling a lot of emotional pain. I'm dealing with what I believe to be my twin, and we are in separation now. I'm on a spiritual journey, and he is stuck in a narcissistic cycle. How do I reach him, or can I reach him? I mean his heart. Well, I mean, you can talk to him telepathically in your, what I call prayers meditation, while you're, just laying or sitting, whatever you do. I like to lay back when I'm going on what I call a spiritual journey or an astral travel or whatever we call those things. And talk to him. Talk to him inside. Feel him. And connect to his soul, not to his mind. I know you guys hear me say that a lot, but it's so big. It's so pivotal. It's so big. How do I read? There, that's it. That does make sense. I kind of figured he wouldn't do that. Right. Yeah. If you know that, then you know. It's a knowing. Hey, girl. I sent an email to you last week, forwarded it to your other emails, but Lee barely noticed now. Set up a one-on-one. You know what, Sin? I'm going to try. I no longer, I'm going to say allow. I'm no longer allow. Which isn't true. But I make sure that I get into that email daily now. So I don't know what he's done with it before I did that. But I will go through and find it, and I will email you this evening. I'll look for it, I'll find it, and I'll email you. We'll get that done. Yeah, for sure we will. I'll go back to your early videos and see how you and Lee started cutting through it. It was a lot. It was a lot. I feel like he's so blinded by his own pain that he isn't able to feel mine. Or maybe I'm just not doing a good job of sharing it. I feel like if you're connected, he knows. And I know that no matter how much pain I was in, even when I was sick and dying, that if Lee was in some kind of pain, and it was a lot of emotional pain he was in, I felt it. I felt it. I knew which one was mine and which one was his. I knew which one. And if you feel like you're doing not a good enough job of sharing it, then, come out of your comfort zone a little bit and explain to him what you're actually going through. And maybe he'll connect to it and get it. That's super important. Hey, girlie, hi, Daniel. Hey. What ways do you think are best for me to manifest now? Not sure how good I'd be at it since I'm completely heartbroken, having to maybe move on. Um, you know, when we move even into the next moment, we're going too fast. And when you are stuck, I'm using that word on purpose too. When you're stuck and you feel like there's a time when you need to move on, um, what I do personally is normally when I find myself either trying to go back there or move up there, right? I try to stop and use my eyes and look around me and realize where I'm at now, what moment I'm in now, and how am I going to, while I'm talking about it, make these moments that we're experiencing more enriched, more meaty, and for me, right? Um, Going to the grocery store tomorrow. Um, I've got surgery on Wednesday. Going even that far to me is a lot. Um, I could be, I can be, I can have myself in bondage in half an hour from now, right? But a lot of times, Danielle, when we recognize that we're going there or back there, when we recognize it, we can snap out of it. Very similar, you guys have heard me use this analogy a lot, very similar to the dog whisperer, if you guys have seen him. Um, Snap out of it. Snap out of it. Let's not be heartbroken over having to move on, right? From an experience that taught us some type of lesson, right? That taught us some type of behavior or some type of lesson, right? There was something in that. So when I find myself, what's going to happen yesterday, what's going to happen the next day after that, or the next day after that, I tend to snap myself back. I always put my hand on my chest to snap myself back, knock myself out of it, and be appreciative and thankful for where I'm at and what I've gotten to now. So 10 minutes from now, I can be hungry and like, what am I going to have for dinner, or what am I going to eat, or, what do I want? And it could be, what do I want for dinner, or what do I want out of life, right? What do I want out of life even? Snap me out of it and just enjoy and be thankful for where I'm at in the moment, and that I'm here, I'm alive, and embracing just that moment, this moment, that moment, this moment. Snap yourself out. Snap yourself out. I just really miss him. We're in separation. Any advice on 5D communication since I've been shut out of 3D? Yes. 5D communication is way easier. I suggest that you just always start by laying on a couch, laying on your bed, shutting your eyes, not thinking of any words, not thinking of any prayers, no mantras, no lectures, no nothing. Connecting to the feeling, connecting to the actual feeling, connecting to the energy of the twin, of the energy of that. And then you'll feel it when that connection, when it's connected, you'll feel it. And I always suggest you do that first before trying to have a conversation. Kind of like a toddler, right? You got to crawl before you walk. And I'm getting ready to run a medium class for those who have this gift, but they're not sure how to develop it. But I always will, I will always say you've got to feel before you can hear the audible voices. You've got to feel the connection to spirit, and again, crawl before you walk, right? And then when you can audibly hear the voices, what to decipher, how to translate all these things. um, there's a there's a way to just be in that energy, right? And then if you feel like baby words, baby steps, hello love, or hi hon, or thank you for the connection, so many different things, and then when you hear audible voices back, then you can start having full-blown conversations. Let's see. To manifest, should I write things down or meditate? You know what, Danielle, any way you feel like you need to manifest. Sometimes we use vision boards. Sometimes Lee and I have one that we bought a month ago. We haven't even started it. We need to, but if you're really, really, really wanting to manifest something, I suggest many different things. I have a I have a, oh, what's the name? It's a rose of shit. Can't remember the name of it. It's a rose of Jericho or something, and it's one of those. They got them on the trees down there in Florida, all over the place. But when it rains, they spread out on the tree, and when it's dry, they dry up and they look dead, right? But then it's dead and it's in a Ziploc bag, and then when I want to manifest something, I take it out and I put it in like a pie plate that I have, and I fill it with water, and I put it in the water, and in 2 days it's alive and it's all branched out, and I will use it, leave it in the water and alive until whatever I'm trying to manifest comes to fruition. So I would, suggest finding something similar to that. I'll try to find the name of it and give it to you. You could probably pull one right off of a tree down there. We have to order them up here because we don't have that. But if any of you guys have the name of that before the end of this, then let me know, because I think it's called the Rose of Jericho. I'm not sure, but I'll let you know. Vision boards, also mantras work. You know what I mean? Lighting candles, using manifesting stones. There's so many different ways that I do it. But find the one way that suits you the best. If you've always written it down, then write it down. I wouldn't change the way that you do it. Yeah. 25D always says the vibe is more impactful. It is for sure. For sure. I guess exploring this will tell me whether he's actually my twin or if the connection we've experienced is something else. I never doubted it until this. I don't want you to, if you're connected, I don't want you to doubt it, but I want you to feel the connection. You know what I mean? I want you to know that knowing inside of you, like when you mentioned that, what if Lee would have said something like that, and I tried to go to my human mind, but my human mind would have been like, you know what I mean? My human mind would have wanted to say, well, screw you for being non-supportive or whatever, but of course that's where a human mind goes. But my soul was telling me that it wasn't even possible, like that type of dialogue wasn't, or even the thought process isn't there. It's a knowing that our connection is so strong that, even things like me being sick and unattentive, not being there, and clearly I was, I had a lot of pneumonia in my brain, and it, was clouding a lot of things, and my memory was gone, and so many things. Even through my encephalopathy is what I had. Even through that, that knowing never went away. My mind did, like my memories, how to speak, right? How to walk, how to use the bathroom. So many things that were taken from my mind. My mind just, it took them away. That connection never ever went away. And you can't forget something that's in your soul. You can forget mind noise, but that connection, that soul connection that we have, never, ever, ever wandered. It just didn't. And it's just a knowing that when I visited that question, that was the answer that I gave, because it's what I felt. I hope it helped. Rose of Sharon, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's called the Rose of Sharon. Um, yes, that's what it's called. So I don't know what it's called down there in Florida, Danielle, but for some reason it came to my mind. So maybe you need to get one of those. Um, by the way, you can get the Rose of Sharon on Amazon too. Um, I think I got mine I think I bought 5, like at a Mind, Body, and Spirit Expo or something, and I ended up giving them away. I give them away, and then um, I think I kept one for me, and then I ended up giving it away, and I had to go get some more. But from what my cousin says, she's in St. Petersburg, and she says that they grow all over the trees down there. So I'm just gonna have her start pulling stuff off for me. I think you just take like a knife and cut them. That's what it looks like. I don't know, it's hot. Um, Mine has been using different words in conversation. For instance, instead of friendship, he's saying missing the connection. There's growth, so I'm allowing him time to share with me. And that's Denise. There's no other way. There's no other way. It, yeah. Um, the fact that you're understanding and realizing his um, changes in his communication, you know, he's trying to be the change. That's commendable, and it's a big, big, big step, because you can go most of your life without change. I'll go tree hunting. My vision board is from like 20 years ago. You think you should update it? Danielle, update your vision board and go tree hunting. Don't go into somebody's yard and pull their roses of Sharon off their trees. I don't think that's a good idea. But yeah, Allison, I really want you to feel that connection. It's super important. It's super important. But listen, guys, so super important stuff before I go. Lee is running a root camp special. I should know this, but I know that it's on the website. Um, and I know that he's not going to be doing that for much longer. So um, get in on this special, or you won't be able to get in on it. And we are changing up some things on our business model. And I know that he's not going to be doing that for very much longer. Also, like, we have some openings for both of us for root camp, and we'll do those together. So me and him both will be in your session together, so I can give you the feminine aspect, he can give you the masculine aspect, and I can give you the masculine aspect, and he can give you the feminine aspect, all at the same time. I just got done with a sexual abuse root camp, so I have an opening for one, and actually 2. I have an opening for 2 sexual abuse root camps, and I am still doing medium readings. probably just through the end of the month, and then I'm going to take a break for a month or two, and then maybe during the summer I'll start them back up again. But if you want a medium reading with me, I would get it in, because I got to take a little bit of a siesta from that for a little bit while I do a little bit more recovering from some things. And so that being said, the email that I'm making sure that I catch before Lee erases them or puts them to wherever he is, he it's info at relationshipreinvented.com. Info at relationshipreinvented.com. I'm answering those, and I always answer right after this live, because I get a couple emails after the live too. So I'll make sure that I check those right after. So if you're wanting either a medium session with me, or a root camp with me, or a root camp with me and Lee, any of those things, then email that pretty quickly. Also, I am starting another medium class. So if you've got medium gifts, you're not quite sure how to develop your gift, you're not quite sure what to look for, then keeping an eye on the time because I know Lee has a session. Then email me and we'll get that worked out too, and I'll get you into that class. I believe I'm starting it I'm starting it next week. So if you want to get in on that medium class, email me, I'll give you the details, and we're going to help you develop your gifts. I'm going to help you develop your gifts and how to handle like certain things. So it's real important to understand what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling all at the same time, right? Email. So I can answer this one last question, and then I'll go. When in separation, did your energy ever feel drained or have sleep issues? Yeah, quite a bit. And I believe we was doing that at the same time. Like when I was feeling exhausted, he was feeling exhausted. When I was feeling sad, he was feeling sad. Yeah, and a lot of times if I couldn't sleep, I knew it was because he couldn't sleep, or vice versa. And there were some times when I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need to sleep tonight. So, and I would take my sleep back. But yeah, there was many times that we had sleep issues and fatigue, a lot of draining. Our mediumship sessions about anything we ask or like to talk to spirit. It can be either. So I can anything you want to ask is perfectly fine. When spirit steps forward, I can sort of give you the information on who it is, maybe a lot of times even names, or ages, or if it's a father figure or a brother or something like that. But yeah, anything that you'd like. So sometimes I'll do a reading, and it's really not about talking to spirits who have passed. So whatever kind of reading you would like, you just kind of explain to me what it is that you are looking for, and I can tell you what I can do. Yeah, because it's kind of interesting. I can I'm not a psychic. I can't tell you if you're going to win the lottery, or if you're going to get a new truck, or if you're going to have a baby. That's not my gift. But my gift is multifaceted, and I can certainly connect with your loved ones who have passed, or we can talk on a spiritual level about so many things. Anything you want to know. Oh, Alice, that's awesome. Curious if the fatigue resolved when you got into union. Yeah, I mean, it really did. Then, then the fatigue, the physical fatigue was happening because we were very physical and we were just very tired in the beginning. You know, the energy comes back, I promise. I promise the energy comes back and it taper off. You know what I mean? But union is the goal, and you won't feel as drained. Maybe in other ways sometimes, like the energy's strong and you both get fatigued together, and that's understandable. But it's the best kind of tired, right? So you're right, Salma. Thank you guys for watching again. You know, here we are, 40, 50, 60 people listening, trying to hear what I have to say. I just don't understand it, but I'll be here on Mondays. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Info at relationshipreinvented.com. Get with me, and I'll get right back with you. Yeah. Thanks. I gotta figure this out.